Welcome to Cap Chat. We have some spooky stuff in store for you today. We will be discussing Capitol ghost stories and myths, as well as ghost stories from around Ohio. We have to take a short break, but when we return, be prepared to get scared. I'm your host, and thank you for tuning in to Cap Chat.
Definitely know what it's like to feel alone.
I had no hope, and I didn't think that things would get better.
I struggled a lot with thoughts of suicide myself.
Speak up to anyone that you feel comfortable speaking to about those kind of issues.
If you can get through those rough times, the good times are really good times.
It might be bad now.
There are a whole lot bigger and better things that are waiting for you down the road.
It gets better.
It does get better.
I promise it does get better.
What up, I'm Will, play the bass. We're a jazz group, but we play everything from Miles Davis to Tom Morello.
Hi, I'm Madison. I play drums for the group. Not only do we play covers, but we also play original music. Hey, I'm Danny. I play piano. We've played at benefits, restaurants, and jazz clubs, and we're open to play anywhere.
Hey, I'm Zach, and I play guitar. Check us out on Facebook for our schedule, booking contact, and music.
Actually, I don't care if he's super.
The object of this fraternity shall be for the development of the best and truest fraternal spirit.
As we go,
mutual welfare and brotherhood of musical students.
Loyalty to the alma mater.
So let it be.
So let it be.
So let it be. So let it be for Symphonia.
Just walk away.
Welcome back to Cap Chat. With me in the studio today, we have Tiara Wheatley, Josh Vanderzar, Carl Strasser, and Tiara, here to tell you about all the Capitol ghost stories. So, guys, what is the scariest thing about a ghost?
Well, I think that the scariest thing about the ghost, Josh was kind of talking about this earlier with me, is that, I mean, you can't see them. It's a figment of your imagination, if you believe in that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, it's totally, just going on that, it's totally what your mind makes it. Because since there's not really, well, I guess it's debatable if there's evidence of ghosts. But since there's never been anything very concrete about ghosts, so it leaves a lot for us to imagine. And I think that's what makes them so scary.
Right, like when you watch ghost stories and all these shows on TV or in movies, all you see, there's noise or there's some sort of a little bit of a movement, but there's never anything drastic. You never see like a book flying across the shelf, and if you do, I'm personally convinced that they did it themselves. I'm sure there's a producer in the back throwing a book across the room. So really, people are scared of their imagination, really, in my mind.
Yeah, I would agree. Also, not knowing the unknown, and also the superstition that tends to occur.
Okay, so did any of you go on the ghost hunt at the orientation at the beginning of the year?
No.
I did.
Did you like it? Was it fun?
Yes. I thoroughly enjoyed the tour. It was very enlightening just to see like the history surrounding Capitol and the people who have been here before us.
I went on the ghost tour, and it was pretty cool how they walked us around in between all the buildings. They just started, where was it, Schaff, and we just kind of walked around. And one place which was really interesting was they talked about the conservatory, and we went down to the basement to, I think it's, I believe, the percussion area where all the percussion players are, and they have a big open room full of instruments, pianos, big drums, everything. And they're all stacked up, all nice and neat. Well, they told us a story of a kid who was down there one day, and he was practicing piano, I believe, or something of the sort, and all of a sudden, one of the stacks just falls over. The drums just go down, and you can imagine, that's pretty loud noise, and he was out of there, as soon as he heard that. And they could never explain, what did that, what made those drums fall over.
So did you guys enjoy the tours?
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. I mean, to know that there's some mystery, some intrigue to the school we go to is kind of fun.
When I was a freshman, we didn't have like ghost tour, but it was something that people were always really interested in. So I have a story. Are you guys ready? Okay, so Battelle, the science building, for those of you that don't know, apparently has a haunted professor. Like, I guess he was like some disgruntled professor that, I don't know, had like some messed up experiment and died in there in Battelle. And apparently he walks the halls at night. From outside, if you're standing in the courtyard, you're supposed to be able to see a projector kind of light come on at night. I don't know if have you guys ever walked by and seen it?
No.
It sounds
scary.
crazy.
I know. It sounds really creepy. So I don't know what he's doing in there. I guess there's been broken beakers and people walking in, there's glass, and janitors hear different noises, but they don't let people in there after dark, so you can't really go investigate. So I'm sure it's something that some crazy person just made up because, why not have a mad scientist in Battelle?
So do you guys believe in ghosts?
I don't know. It's a very interesting topic because you see all these people disproving ghosts or ghosts don't exist. There's a lot of that, but at the same time, there's some really weird coincidences that you can see all around. I mean, like we just said, even here at Capitol, you can find a lot of weird stuff going on. So I don't know.
I think it's pretty apparent from the way I'm saying allegedly and supposedly and probably maybe that no, I don't believe in ghosts, but I think that I believe in wind. And I believe in people, so I think that people create different things that happen around Capitol to just try and make it scary. Not even just Capitol, but in general.
I think generally, if you want to believe, you're going to believe in them, and you're going to see the ghosts. Just because if your mind wants to accept that reality, you're going to believe in it. I think you're going to see the shadow on the wall. You're going to see you're going to hear the footsteps in your own mind.
Yeah, I agree. I feel that it's something that you create in your mind. It's your own intuition. If you want to go on that faith, like, oh, there's a ghost, I believe in them, then yeah, you're going to think there's a ghost. But if not, no, you're not going to really stand on that foundation that there's really ghosts around.
Yeah. So what would you do if you ever saw a ghost?
Run and scream because I am not fond of ghosts, so I will be out of there immediately.
I think I would destroy stuff, like throw beakers places if I met the science guy, and then because then you have like when else can you destroy property and blame it on a ghost?
I don't think I would believe you, but
I would believe me.
If I saw a ghost, I would definitely try to keep my distance because you don't know if it's a friendly ghost or a evil ghost. It could have bad intentions or good intentions.
But I mean, like with ghosts and stuff, you might want to back away. But what if you could be that person who gets that camera shot or gets that that evidence? If you saw a real ghost, I mean, there's definitely some intrigue there. Why not try and prove? I mean, you're gonna tell all your friends the story. You might as well not look crazy, right?
I would definitely have a camera with me.
Yeah.
Try to get any footage.
So what about ghosts freaks you out the most?
Like we said in the beginning, the whole unknown part of ghosts. Like, you never know like movies, they create this image of something that can do whatever it wants to you. It doesn't matter how much locks you have on your door, how much guns you have in your next to your bed. It's gonna get you and it's gonna hurt you. And there's just not much you can do against that, I guess.
I think it's not only the unknown of what the ghost is in and of itself, I think also what their intentions are. Like, and that's the same thing, like people are scary in that way too. But ghosts, you never know, like you said, if they're good or if they're bad, or I think that makes it just as scary.
Yeah.
All right, well that's some pretty scary stuff. We're gonna have to take a short break. We're gonna discuss ghost movies when we return.
The Capitol University Rock Ensemble is in its 7th season and was founded by Dr. Mark Lockstamper as kind of an alternative for the students who maybe didn't fit into our jazz combos, into big band, or into the choirs. So we're a fully functioning rock band. We can travel anywhere. We're singing everything from Jason Mraz to Grace Potter and the Nocturnals to Styx. So there's a little something for everyone. Check us out on Facebook and Twitter.
three main areas comprise career development, and those are career planning, job and internship search, and graduate and professional school application. Some of the most popular services are reviewing resumes, choosing and changing majors, and finding internships and jobs. You can find us on the second floor of Blackmore Library. Our drop-in hours are posted there, and you can make an appointment too. Most of our resources, including our contact information, are available on our website. We help you figure out what you want to do, and then we'll help you do it.
Barrel 44 has the best happy hour in Bexley. From 3 to 7 p.m., Monday through Saturday, you can enjoy specials on whiskey, cocktails, and $3 drafts. On Wednesdays, enjoy one of our signature flatbreads cooked in our wood-fired oven for only $5.50 with the purchase of a flight of whiskey. Barrel 44 Whiskey Bar and Restaurant, 2232 East Main Street in the Bexley Square Shopping Plaza.
Welcome back to Cap Chat. I'm your host, Kevin. On today's show, we've been chatting about ghosts. Now we're going to chat about some scary movies. So, guys, apparently on April 5th coming out is a movie called Six Souls. After the death of her husband, Dr. Kara Hauntings, faith in God has been shaken, not by her beliefs in science, in an attempt to open up to accepting unexplainable psychiatric theories her father introduced to her. Adam, a patient with multiple personalities who takes out on some physical characteristics of his personalities. She quickly discovers that Adam's other personalities are murder victims. So, just like every other typical scary movie, or completely different off the wall?
I don't know. I don't think I'd really call that too, something crazy, something outside of the box, 100%. I think the whole psychological idea of horror film has been used multiple times. So I wouldn't say it's something that's so far out there that you're gonna be blown away. I don't know.
I think that the idea of multiple personalities is a lot scarier than a lot of other scary movies that are out there, because that's something real. That's something that could happen and does happen, to people. So I think that whole idea makes it even more scary to me.
It's definitely a real situation that could possibly happen to either one of us. We develop a personality that's outside of our own, and then it's made into a movie now. I think it's relevant, especially with we have all these conditions that people now come up with. But I think there's definitely going to be some plot twists in there that could be interesting to watch when you go see it.
Something people should probably go see.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just don't believe in the multiple personality things. I don't believe it's a real thing. I think it's an excuse. I don't know anybody that has it, but I can't be.
Yeah, when you find one, you should probably run the other way anyway.
You might be
Probably
surprised.
a ghost. All seems to be haunted somehow. All right, the next movie coming out also on April 5th is called Evil Dead. Mia, a young woman struggling with sobriety, heads to a remote cabin with her brother and a group of friends with the discovery of a book of the dead leads to danger and horror. So again, typical horror film or something totally off the wall good idea?
I think this one is so typical for me. I don't know about you guys. I know that this is a remake and you guys will kind of talk about that later because I'm not very knowledgeable on that. But girl goes into the woods. Like, who goes into the woods by themselves?
With high heels?
Yeah, because that's the last thing I'm gonna do.
Every scary movie.
I would.
You would go to the woods by yourself?
With high heels?
No, I wouldn't. Not with high heels. Maybe by myself.
And where are their cell phones? Dude, seriously.
Good question. Good
Thank
question
you.
for the whole genre.
Thank you.
The genre as a whole. I mean,
right.
Where do these movies come from? They come from themselves.
Right.
They just build on each other. But one thing I would say that is interesting about this film that I actually think does kind of stand out from other horror films is that yes, it is a remake, but it's a remake of a horror comedy film, and this is like a full horror film. So it's just really interesting to see that they're taking this story and making it really scary. Because like in the Evil Dead 2, which is pretty famous, directed by Sam Raimi back a little while ago, it was about a man who goes into the woods. Same thing, same story. But the way it's presented is it's stupid. It's making fun of the horror genre. It's making fun of those person going out into the woods by themselves with high heels on. Where's the cell phone? I don't know. Yeah, it's making fun of that. It's like how we have the scary movie scary movies 1, 2, 3, 4 today, how those kind of make fun of the slasher, like Scream, stuff like that. So I think it's interesting how it's taking a horror film look, like a real horror look on it. So I think it will be interesting.
The original wasn't quite a comedy. There were some pretty dark moments in the original Evil Dead series. Basically, Ash, the lead character in the first Evil Dead, he comes up basically with his girlfriend to have some time alone, and then they find the book and start reading from it, and then that's when all the weird stuff's happening, and he basically goes crazy himself. There's some dark moments, I guess, in each of them. So I would expect possibly this one to be even more darker, lots more gore, more blood.
I agree, because I've seen some of the commercials and they look very scary and demonic, and I don't like demonic things, so I will not be going to see this.
I guess as far as it's concerned, people are going to see these movies about kids going in the woods anyway, so I mean, they must be doing something right. I'm personally just not going to go in the woods without a guardian in a group of people and a cell phone.
Yeah. I guess I would say the name, for me, is what draws me to it. But if you were just looking at it from the outside without any prior knowledge, then I don't know. It would be a tough call if you were going to go actually see it.
All right, well, let's move on to the next movie. It's called The Lord Solomon, and it will be coming out on April 19th. From the singular mind of the horror maestro, Rob Zombie comes a chilling plunge into a nightmare world where evil runs in the blood. Do you know anything about this, Carl?
Yes. This possibly could be like one of Rob Zombie's greatest films. Not only does it include the witch genre of horror, but also looks at a historical side of the Salem witch trials, and that these lords of Salem decide whether or not the people are witches, the women primarily are witches, and they should be killed or not. So like it kind of breaks up the point, like who is actually evil in the whole genre.
So you think this would be a good movie role for Rob Zombie?
Oh yeah.
Maybe something to do with the soundtrack as well.
He's definitely got a good soundtrack in there with the weird, creepy effects.
He's a creepy guy.
Oh, definitely. I mean, and I think with this movie also the use of actual history goes a long way. Our history can scare us. I mean, we read history so we don't repeat it for something. So, yeah.
Those who don't learn from history are condemned to repeat it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Learn that in history class. All right, let's move on to the next movie, which came out on February 1st, 2013. It's called The Haunting Feb. Building on a terror of a haunting in Connecticut, these horrifying tale traces of young families' nightmarish descent into centuries-old Southern hell. Do you know anything about the haunting in Connecticut?
Yeah, I saw the first one. It was The Haunting in Connecticut, and to me it was a very good film. It had a lot of elements of possession and just the depictions of the contortions of the body, which primarily what they focus on. But sometimes some of the scenes were a little cut and dry, and they seemed like other movies similar. So I hope the next one could be a little bit better.
How many haunting movies are there now? Because I feel like there have been everything, like a haunting in Texas, haunting in Ohio, I'm sure, eventually.
Yeah. It's kind of a genre that's maybe been exploited, maybe not. I don't know. I haven't seen too many, but I know there's a bunch. So.
All right, well, we're going to take a short break, but when we return, we'll be discussing haunted places here in Columbus, Ohio.
Are you tired of lugging your turntable around just so you can listen to your favorite music? You're in luck. Capital University's chapter of the Audio Engineering Society is converting your old vinyl, tapes, and more into digital formats that you can take with you wherever you go. We use professional-level equipment to preserve the sound quality of your collection while turning it into a much more manageable size. So let the AES digitize your library. We'll promise it'll still sound just as good. Contact nlockwu at capital.edu for more information.
Academic success is devoted to helping students be as academically successful here at Capital as they can be. We provide a wide range of academic support services, including math tutoring, science tutoring, writing center, and then subject area tutoring. We're easy to find. We're right here on the second floor of the library, and they can get more information by either calling us at 236-6327, emailing us at academicsuccess@capital.edu, or just simply going to our website at www.capital.edu/academic success.
And we're back. We've been talking about all things weird and unexplained here on CapChat, from the paranormal to the just downright creepy. We've seen just a little picture of the world beyond our own. There are many skeptics doubting the authenticity of these stories, saying the power of the imagination and our fears are the real sources of our encounters. Either way, these stories are remembered and questioned. So let's move into the buildings that are creepy in Columbus, Ohio. Opening in 1917, the Seneca Hotel, still here in downtown Columbus, lands one of the creepiest places to visit. It was abandoned in the early 90s, and it was home of the EPA, where employees heard screams from a little girl in the basement. The little girl is still believed to wander the halls carrying a little teddy bear. Tell us a little bit about that, Carl.
Basically, the hotel opens up 1910s about. It's very, very modern. It's a very nice place to stay. But ownership loses control of the place, and the APA moves in, has offices there, and I think the OSU faculty club actually stayed there for a little bit as well. But yes, the APA, basically, their employees heard the screams of the little girl that believed to be haunting the basement. Really, I was researching this place, but there's no word about how the little girl died or who she was really. Just like an unknown little girl, creepy enough.
To me, like ghost children are like the scariest. Like their little singing voices and they're screaming and they're like 1920s clothes and their little teddy bear. I think that's absolutely terrifying, like more terrifying than anything else. I would never go anywhere near this building, not only because there's homeless people invading it, but also because I'm going to stay with little creepy girls with teddy bears.
You've been watching too many movies.
Well, children are like the most innocent thing ever. So like to see a child in like an evil position, it's kind of like jarring. It just kind of messes with you.
I can't see it.
Yeah, I agree. I don't even know why the building is still existing.
Yeah, if it's condemned, they should just tear it down and start over. Like, you failed, try again. I don't.
Well, I believe it's under private ownership, so like it's up to them to decide what to do. But I've heard rumors they're trying to demolish it, turn it into a parking lot. Unfortunately.
We need more of those, so go for it.
All right, the next place is another unlikely place to be frequented by the spirits of the beyond. Is the Nationwide Children's Hospital in downtown Columbus. What do you think about that? A hospital being haunted. It is said that in the nearby park, the children have reported to see tall, faceless lady dressed in pink from their windows at night. It is believed to have been built atop of an old Confederate cemetery. I think that it's got to be true. Women and not women, but children and ghosts always just seem to go hand in hand. They always see them.
I mean,
so do children and imaginary friends. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I think like that place is such a mixture of like all these possibilities. Like you're talking about the hospital where people die in hospitals. I mean, there's no getting around that. And then like a Civil War graveyard, you said? Yeah.
Those are never anything to be tampered with.
I mean, they're just, it seems like you're asking for it. So, I mean, that sounds really creepy.
Yeah, it does sound creepy, and I think it sounds a lot realistic that can be occurring, because children, they do have imaginary friends, but I don't think they would lie about something like that, because that faceless woman sounds crazy and creepy.
Yeah, well, historically, the site used to be a Confederate camp during the time of the Civil War, and yes, there were basically prostitutes in these camps. It was a different time. It was a different time.
It's cool.
But somehow or another, there was there was a prostitute, this lady in pink, and somehow or another she was murdered. Possibly there was a jealous lover, or simply they just didn't like her anymore. And she was killed and buried in the cemetery where the park was later constructed on top of.
Did they cut her face off when they killed her? Because why would she not have a face?
I'm not sure.
She might be too far away for the children to describe.
So they just
I
said she
didn't
was
find that in
faceless?
my research. There was.
All right, I'm not a believer, clearly.
Obviously. All right, let's go on to the next place. One of the strangest places right here close to Capitol is in the German Village district. It's called the Shorts Castle. It was built in the mid-1800s by a successful businessman, William Frederick Shorts. Carl, you got a little more on that for us?
Yeah. Basically, there was a immigrant from Germany, Mr. Schwartz, and he had built the house, so-called the castle, because it has a very prominent tower in the north part of the section of the house. And he builds the house so that his wife, soon-to-be wife, his fiancée, would come over from Germany and live with him there. But weeks later go by, and he gets a letter from his fiancée saying the wedding's been canceled, she's not coming to the United States. And he loses his mind, his money, and his business. And supposedly he killed himself jumping off the tower. And today, some nights you can actually see him climbing up the top of the tower to do his fateful deed.
Wow.
I mean, that's pretty crazy to think about, all the emotion that guy had to be feeling, if it's a true story, of course. But I've heard it said before that ghosts come from emotion that's left behind. And it's like, imagine what it would be like for that guy to, really lose his wife, then be in America, and like all that pain. If you believe in that whole emotion being left behind, that would definitely explain it,
German Village, too, in Columbus is one of the first places that people settled around here.
Yes.
So the whole place is thought to be a little bit haunted. I don't know if you guys have heard of Book Loft. Apparently, apparently books fall off the shelves all the time. That whole area is thought to be a little bit haunted.
The Sausage House,
yeah.
apparently too. There was the first owner still haunts it there.
There was an unexpected fire at Schmitz, if you guys have ever been there.
Schmitz,
There's
yes.
been a lot of crazy things that have happened around German Village.
You still don't believe in ghosts?
No.
Possible.
Maybe. I don't know. I'll have to go and explore.
Anything's possible.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of coincidences that are out there, So, how many coincidences does it take? So.
All right. Well, that about wraps it up here on Cap Chat. Again, we talked about ghost stories, ghost movies, and all things ghosts. Thank you for tuning in. Once again, I'm your host, Kevin Fickar.